Yeah, I just want to get into talking about James Harden and this whole situation with Kevin McHale, right? So Kevin McHale came out, because Kevin McHale is he's a TV analyst now. So he came out and gave his opinion about James Harden, saying, basically the guy's not a leader. And it's not anything new. There's been reports, there's been things and said about James Harden lack of leadership, tangibles. And I think that's been proven over the course of several seasons now that he's been on his own and leading his own team. The guy is very good at stuffing stats. He's a perennial all-star when it comes in the regular season. But when it comes to the playoffs, completely different beast, completely different player. The guy just doesn't show up when his team needs him to show up. That's all Kevin McHale was saying. Kevin McHale would know because Kevin McHale coached him for a couple years. He's seen it one-on-one, seen it up close and personal when he had the other bum, Dwight Howard, who not a leader. And speaking of Dwight Howard, it reminds me of when Stan Van Gundy went out on a limb and said that about Dwight Howard. When Dwight Howard had his, he was still in his prime, he was still in Orlando, Stan Van Gundy was coaching him, and Stan Van Gundy said the same thing Kevin McHale said about Dwight Howard then, saying that, he's not a leader. He's not. And, of course, Stan Van Gundy got a lot of crap for it. He's got a lot of heat for it, and it ultimately cost him his job in the end when he got kicked out of Orlando. But was Stan Van Gundy wrong about what he said? He was right. Dwight Howard's not a leader. He wasn't. When he went to the Lakers, you see what happened. When he went to Houston, you see what happened. Now he's in Charlotte. And before he went to Charlotte, he was in Atlanta, his hometown of Atlanta, and that was a disaster. And now he's in Charlotte as an outcast. Team number 5. What's that? Orlando. Yeah, team number 5. So, I think Kevin McHale wasn't off base with his comments about James Harden. James Harden isn't a leader, in my opinion, because James Harden doesn't make others better. He doesn't. He doesn't make others better. And he definitely doesn't show up when it's time for superstars to show up. That's the ultimate leader tangible. He doesn't have that. And it's been proven over and over again. I mean, we could go back to when he was in the finals with OKC when they went against the Miami Heat, and when the Heat won their first championship, James Harden was absent. He wasn't even he disappeared. He was Deborah Copperfield in that series. Because he always shrinks when the lights are brightest. So, I don't think that Kevin McHale is off base because you got to understand Kevin McHale is now in the media. So he's going to give his opinion, and that's what he's getting paid to do, give his opinion. I think an appropriate way that James Harden could have addressed the situation is by just saying, you know what? That's unfortunate that he feels that way. All I care about is not what he says. All I care about is what this team is doing and all the preparation, all the steps that we're taking to be a better team and hopefully come out of the Western Conference. That's all I care about. That was the response that James Harden should have had. But of course, he had to go petty. It said, call him a clown, call him, I never learned anything from him and all this other stuff. Look, first of all, I understand your perspective of being upset with Kevin McHale and his opinion. But you don't have to go, third level on this and say, call him a clown and all this. Kevin McHale knows leadership. First of all, he's won numerous championships, something that you won't ever do, James. So show a little bit respect when it comes to a great player like Kevin McHale, who's, one of the, top 5 all-time probably power forwards to ever play. I mean, arguably, the guy knows leadership tangibles. That's not a debate. So I think James did a disservice by going after Kevin. He should have just took the high road and just said, you know what? That's unfortunate, but I'm focused on Houston Rockets. I'm focused on this year's team and getting over the hump. That's all I care about. I think that would have been the nice thing to do if James was a leader, but he's not.